let us all pause to appreciate this wall, which has been behind us every step of the way. Tonight is its last recording. The end of the wall.
Well, this may be the last recording behind this wall, but it won't be the last video posted with this wall behind it.
But it's the last recording. Whatever comes next is another wall. Maybe another slightly egg cream color. I don't know.
And it won't be a full wall. It'll have actually a window to the kitchen inside. That'll be behind us.
Well, then it'll be an incomplete wall behind us. Not old, reliable, solid here. And say goodbye to these photos. I might break them tomorrow when we move.
That's like $1,000, so you don't want to break that one.
Well, then you should let me touch it.
I'm not planning to.
Okay, then. But anyway, let us all appreciate the wall. The wall has been good to us. Maybe not quite sound absorbent, but solid nonetheless.
Unless you have the washer and dryer going there, then you hear the wall boom, boom, boom.
Oh, well, we had some shaky ground over the years, but the wall has stood the test of time.
I forgot that Stan Lee picture was crooked when I recorded this morning.
Oops. It's been crooked every time you record. Alright, everyone. This is the Kaiju Kami's channel. I'm Cruellica Kain. This is Silver Quill.
Your host for this memorial of the wall.
And this is some guy who I married. I've been with him since 2001.
Did you really almost forget?
No.
You were Space Odyssey?
2001. Our relationship is of legal drinking age in the United States. And he's a nuisance. But he is the Kaiju Kami.
And we are here to talk about Ultraman Decker episode 4, or at least we'll talk a little bit about Decker and probably ramble on about other stuff in this video.
Right on time.
But actually, I will say, I like this episode more than the other 3.
I thought this episode was boring.
I liked the opening bit, especially the first person aspect that was kind of cool.
Okay, what video game were y'all thinking if we saw that? Doom?
Far Cry.
Time Crisis.
Well, I thought of Doom just because of the alien aspect. I didn't think of Time Crisis, but that would have made more sense.
I thought of Far Cry.
So there we go. We all had different video games. It's almost like a Rorschach test of video games.
But it was that was a pretty cool sequence. I think that's the best sequence the show has done so far.
Because I like if we're talking about favorite animation moments or cinematography, when the monster coalesced and opened its eyes, they did a good job with the eyes this time around.
I like how it kind of swiveled.
It swiveled, it looked around, it was like, oh, here I am. Oh.
Well, it was nice. We actually had a Dyna monster in the Dyna tribute show.
Okay, so, all right. Thank you, Orson Welles. All right, Rosebud.
Actually, no, I gotta have to have a scowl on my face to do that.
That's not a scowl.
Okay, fine.
I suddenly get what you're going on about. I was wondering if you'd trained him.
No, Citizen Kane.
Yeah, I get it now. But you're doing the tempo all wrong.
He really is, but that's still fine.
Anyway, but yeah, later.
Oh, worshipping the temple. Oh, worshipping
Well,
the
you
temple.
actually, it kind of fits, because we have YouTube on our screen right now, and it says a televangelist begs for a private jet. So it's kind of fitting that you're worshipping to a temple, and we have a televangelist asking...
But that's the Daily Show.
But they're reading about an actual televangelist asking for a private jet.
Oh Lord, please give unto me a 747 for myself, no one else.
But the other sequence I really liked was when we saw the monster and it turned out to be the viewpoint from a mirror in the street as you saw the flames come and just cook everything around it.
So...
I forgot that part.
Okay. This episode was the perfect analogy for what we were dealing with throughout watching this episode. So we start we get a commercial. We go a tiny bit further because we fast forward through the Ultraman commercials to get a real commercial. Then we watch what feels like about 3 to 4 minutes. We get another Ultraman commercial. Then we go a little bit longer, get a real commercial. And then the fucking capsule, once they translate the language, is a goddamn commercial! A commercial! For the monster!
Yeah. I think you came from Space Enron.
Yo, dog, we heard you like commercials, so we put a commercial in your show that's a commercial.
So then, does that mean you identified with Ultraman when he just got so tick he
Yes!
popped it on the
That
That
top?
was like the best scene of the episode.
That was pretty
When
awesome.
you hear it continuing on, like recycling, I'm like, thank you. I hate commercials.
But, yeah, there wasn't...
Don't get me wrong. When I watched Starship Troopers, and that was kind of like a commercial, that fit because it was a propaganda type film.
Right.
This,
Well, I do find it interesting. It's not quite on the level of when we watched episode 1 and received the same political ad 8 times over. I mean, if they included them, by comparison, the world-ending monster ad isn't
But
so
I feel like...
troubling.
I feel like more happened in the commercials than the actual show itself. Again, it's like the...
well, we saw a commercial on Kohl's. We saw a commercial on,
Maybe that's it. Maybe we should rename these the Ultramercial reviews.
oh my god. The whole fact that was a commercial.
Are you sick of civilizations expanding out into space? Buy our monsters and you can get rid of that civilization.
And it was there for
But wait!
1,300 years.
But wait! There's more!
Oh god, Billy Mays.
Well, I mean, I'm sure, what is it?
Chipotle?
Colonial Britain would have opted for this.
Oh god.
But I mean, there's something sick about a company that makes monsters commit mass genocide just to keep the space lanes open.
Actually, so speaking of a company creating monsters, we're actually watching a trilogy of Lupin movies. One called Jigen's Gravestone, another called Goemon's Blood Spray, and the last one is Fujigo's Lie. Mm-hmm. All of them have a creature that were all manufactured monsters, essentially.
Assassins that were manufactured like monsters.
Well, I'm thinking of the Kirby anime show where they actually had a monster order service. Every episode was a delivery from this monster service with a money back guarantee, and boy, they had to give a lot of money back.
Okay,
I wonder
so
if Claw could have benefited from that.
so we've got
Did he have the budget?
okay, so
Well,
they're
he did have the creepy cat, so I
they're
would
in their
think that-
training with Bemlar as the monster. Their training ends because Kanata dies.
Well, okay, Kanata. The one funny thing about that
When
movie,
his thing showed
when
up.
it starts to show up, and he's like waving away the sparkles.
Waving away the sparkles. That's a brony after a binge drink.
And then, so then he's talking to Robot Hanajiro, and they say, "Oh, we're supposed to have this meeting." And what was this meeting about?
Basically looking over the upgraded monster for the last
Yes.
episode.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So-
And the griffin.
Covering what we already knew and teasing the mecha formation.
That was very lame.
Well, okay, I will join with Intrusive saying that I really enjoy combining robots. They spark the imagination. I find it the height of irony when Barky... Barky.
Yes, that's what we went. what
He
we
says,
were
this
going
isn't a toy. Focus on what's important. I'm like, oh, the irony.
on. Mhm.
Because it totally will be a toy. And yeah, so for a griffin, it didn't really look like any sort of griffin.
No, it was just the two ships sandwiched on top of each other. There was no meat to the formation.
Maybe they'll add a third plane.
It was just, I was like, okay, so
It went like this, and then the back went.
we're not having legs and arms or anything. Okay.
Oh my god. Now I can hear it for Ultraman. You form the legs. You form the arms. And I'll be the head.
No, it's form feet and legs, form arms and body, or form arms and torso, and I'll form the head.
Everyone knows it says that on. It has power, Cruellica. You can't help but sing along.
No. What I can't help to hum along to is hearing the X-Men theme.
DuckTales.
No.
Whoa, whoa, never lost a stride right there. I'm so awesome now. Keep going.
But that is like iconic.
Well, it's just like the Thundercats song from the 80s.
Yeah. Thundercats are on the move. We're talking about anything other than
Decker?
I mean, I watched the Decker theme song music video again with all the workout guys. I was still impressed by their choreography and physiques.
Especially when the singer is on the top of the guy's shoulders.
Yeah, when they're doing the squats with another person on your shoulders. God damn.
But so
See, that's what you need to.
they have their meeting,
progress to.
and
I can deadlift. Well, actually, I haven't done deadlifts. I've done squats,
Squat lifts.
which I'm at 375. I can theoretically lift someone on my shoulders.
But do you want to?
No, not even a little.
so this meeting we have Professor Diejob, who still doesn't do anything relevant.
Nope, he says we can't combine. We have to wait.
Wait. In the name of
And then
all
for
that
some
stuff.
reason we get all these hot springs people, and there's like something about
Well, I
hot
like how
springs.
they're trying to figure out shit that's going on for the hot springs. And the guy gets a call from assumptively his wife, giving him a shopping list of what he needs to do.
Meanwhile, why are they dragging him along? I mean, that's not a way to handle your mayor.
And then the capsule comes out.
I think if you think about it from Powerpuff Girls logic, that would be the only way to get the mayor gone.
It's not that short. I don't think you say
And
that about someone Japanese. Oh, racist.
but yeah, so then our guts people show up, and we've got Kanata with his Mega Man-like helmet. All I'm expecting is to hear Mega Man music because he's in the ship they're flying. Or it also looks like Cerebro.
Da-da-na-na-na-na-na. Da-da-na-na-na-na-na.
But I was thinking Mega Man today. But I think last week I thought of Cerebro.
Yes.
But and then the plane crashes. He transforms into Decker, and
And he burns himself to put out the flames.
Well, what, hot springs water, and they're like, "Our hot springs helped."
And he's like, and you hear him like,
no, I like when the mayor's taking the pictures, and then at the end they're like, "Ooh, this picture would be good advertised."
So the Falcon crashes. Pouty and Barky, they're worried about Ryumon.
The elder squad leader who's like super serial.
Yeah.
Oh, that lady.
No,
the
the guy. Ryumon. He's Barky.
I thought he was Pouty.
No,
the
Pouty is girl.
The girl is Pouty.
Well, Pouty is girl. Wow. I know language. But anyways.
But I knew what you meant when you said Pouty is girl. Okay. So Ryumon is
Barky.
Barky. He just
I
barks.
don't remember calling him
He
that.
barks.
Yes.
He barks orders.
Yes, we call him Barky.
Okay.
But anyways, they're trying to make sure that Intrusive is okay. And Hanajiro does a mimic of his voice.
As a southerner.
As a southerner who's like always saying y'all and
You get all of them people south of the board there, hombre.
and I'm like, oh my god. And then you hear the Ultra Decker grunting, having a conversation. Hanajiro's like, oh, so you don't talk like that. And then Hanajiro is like explaining tactics to Decker, but apparently he's broadcasting to everyone.
And everyone's like, who are you talking to? Which really, the game should be up right there. And then I mean, this was the one where the Ultraman had the most personality as influenced by Intrusive. Who, by the way, is still Intrusive, saying, oh, we can form the Griffin, we just need to have spirit. It all comes down to spirit. It was like, I appreciate the Japanese sort of the foolish hero, but there are times where I would like to see a hero who needs to take that plunge himself.
Every time I hear we need to have spirit, I think of cheerleaders.
Yeah, we got spirit, yes we do. We got spirit. How about you?
But hey,
God.
you know what? They had a Dino monster. I'm just happy about that.
So your standards are at like well below the garage.
So
right now.
low that I'm excited they just had a Dyna monster in their Dyna tribute show.
And
He's been dying to see it.
So in the last episode, not of Decker, but just in general of what we recorded today,
Don Brothers.
you have come to a conclusion that I have no standards. And now you're expressing how your standards are so low that they might as well be non-existent because you were just happy for a monster. What are your standards like? Because apparently I have no standards.
I guess I'm a roller coaster of standards. High, low, high, low.
I'm a little afraid by that.
Roller coaster.
Roller coaster.
Roller coaster. Ooh,
Now-
ooh, ooh, roller coaster
Now, of course,
of love.
we haven't talked about the most important part of this episode. The Three Stooges tactics.
Oh God.
Because that was probably my favorite part. Right, the monster has obvious weak point is obvious.
Obvious weak point is obvious.
So I kind of like.
I feel drunk.
Well, you had just a little sake.
I know, I'm kidding.
The monster has this blue dome on its head, which is clearly the weak point. But it can create a harder than diamond shield over it. So Decker hurts his hand on the first try, does a second, and then pulls a Three Stooges whoop, whoop, whoop. And I'm like, okay, that was tactic.
I was just waiting for the eye thing to go like boing.
Exactly. And so I'm like, that is advanced tactics. You are an Ultraman Stooges. Why do we not have an Ultraman Stooges team?
That would be hilarious.
Well, there are 3 of them.
Well, 3 forms, but
No, I mean there's 3 characters here.
Yeah, but what he's saying is 3 Ultras to be the Stooges.
Oh, Ultramen themselves.
Yes.
Ultramans themselves, yes.
Not Intrusive, Barky, and Pouty. Now I feel like we're talking about the 7
Well,
dwarfs.
I mean, if you have Dia Gaina and Tiga Dyna Gaia, then there you go.
Tika Dyna Gaia. Tika Dyna Gaia. Tika Dyna Gaia.
Shh. That sounds bad. It sounds like you're doing some kind of chant.
What? Oh, well.
Like trying to bring Cthulhu into existence.
Actually, I'll bring the 3 Ultra Stooges into existence. That would be fantastic. Of course, then they'd be smacking each other in downtown the whole time. Come on, tell me you all would pay money to see 3 Dyna Stooges.
I don't know if I'd pay money, but I'd be willing to suffer through a few commercials.
You watch some commercials of to see 3 Ultra Stooges, yeah?
How about you?
I've never liked the 3 Stooges, so
What? Okay, how about Abbott and Costello?
never seen it.
Wait, how many 3 Stooges stuff have you watched?
My brother used to watch it all the time.
Oh. Okay, that I sense that might have more to do with the viewer than the topic.
Nah, I never really got into it.
Okay.
It wasn't terrible. It's just I never really got into it. It was a little too slapstick for me.
Nothing's too slapstick for me.
Okay, you might like the Marx Brothers then.
Yeah, that's more banter.
Yeah. And they're like cut deep banter, especially Groucho.
Whatever. Anyway, so Ultraman wins,
Ooh,
of
Ultraman
course.
Groucho. He has this big mustache.
Oh, that would actually be kind of cool for them to have like that old, like almost like handlebar mustache.
I know Ultra King kind of had that, but not.
Yeah, but not totally. And it was too big, so it didn't work.
I
You
must
need to
ask
have
you
it
a
narrow.
question.
Yes.
So, are you gonna do this to your students? Are you do we need to get you like a kid-friendly pun book?
No.
Kid unfriendly pun book?
Why, I almost was tempted to give him one of my books to take to school, but it was a kid's book about death, and I'm like, yeah, no.
So, but again, with Decker, it really doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of story packed in.
No.
That's the thing. There's been no plot development.
But it also goes by fast.
Well, I think that's also the commercials, because I don't know what it is about commercials, but even when, like, as a kid watching a cartoon show
like
with commercials, it always felt like the episode went so quickly because you had those breaks that broke everything up, that by the time it came back and then you got another commercial, you're like, it's done already?
Well, that's just it. I feel like we have as many commercials as we have airtime for the show.
More.
I feel like it's just...
And this is not the American commercials. This is the Ultra commercials.
Well, I think that... Well, this is...
That's what's really ridiculous.
Well, yeah, because we have the Ultraman commercials.
I just want to actually see how long the episode was, including the Ultra commercials.
Well, it's over there, so you can't do it.
Grab it.
But not right now. But yeah, it was 28 minutes. But that's the thing. It feels like because we have the Ultraman show commercials, then we have the YouTube commercials, that we have as many commercials as we have freaking show.
Yeah, it's 29 minutes altogether. So...
All together.
I love that song. But anyways, most episodes because the opening song is what, 2 minutes?
Not even.
So like a minute and a half.
But it should be about 22 minutes, not including opening and endings.
There's no way it's 22 minutes with opening and ending.
Well, it doesn't feel like it.
Well, I wasn't timing.
Oh, I wasn't timing, but it felt like it went very quick.
It does, but so not a lot of content, but also doesn't feel drawn out. I seem to remember Trigger felt a little longer.
It did, and the one thing that I don't mind episodic shows at times, but I kind of feel like it wouldn't hurt to have a narrative go a little bit more in depth, because they talk about Sphere, but they don't like have any like investigation or any evaluation. It's almost like Sphere is there, but we have a monster of the week to deal with.
But that's part of it. Sphere is here. Sphere exists because they were in Dyna. So here's Sphere. Okay, cool. We're gonna expect that you know about Sphere because they were in Dyna. Anyway,
Sphere is here, dear. You must persevere.
It's like the problem is it doesn't feel like they talked about we can't get out of Earth, we're trapped here, but it doesn't feel like they're trapped there because they're not doing anything to get untrapped. We don't have any.
Like, it would actually be interesting to see some consequences to be trapped.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That it reminds me in Zenkaiger with the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
They never felt like they were a credible threat.
Except to the tennis match.
No, except for the summer vacation episode.
Oh, there you go.
That was the only time it felt credible.
But they never felt like a legitimate, credible threat. And that's the problem here is, where is the threat of Sphere? It seems like it's more of, it's just an inconvenience. We can't leave Earth and no one else can come here. Well, okay, cool. Are they doing anything, though? Is it like taking oxygen off the planets? Are they destroying something? Does this mean sunlight's not getting through to keep forests alive? What is the actual threat level of Sphere covering the planet?
Well, I mean, it is kind of funny. Oh no, I'm trapped on this planet with vast abundant resources that see to my every living need. Oh, I mean, if they had closed off a town, that'd be a different story. But they did mention that with the Guts Griffin, the hope is that they'll eventually have the power to punch through the Sphere. So they're hinting at it, but not really. It's very much theoretical right now.
But why? What is the threat level? That's the problem. Is Spheres encase the Earth. What are they causing that they need to rush? Because clearly, since a year has gone by and everyone's okay, everyone's just living life like normal, clearly their encasing Earth has had no consequences to the planet.
Living La Vida Local.
So I don't get what Sphere's purpose is for isolating the planet from Mars.
Well, you see, they have a very well-rounded approach. Sort of a global service.
Well, there's flat earthers around the globe.
Actually, I was just going to say, and are actually some of those beings in Sphere, are they called flatters?
Well, only after they've tried the intergalactic crosswalk.
But I don't feel like there's any threat from Sphere itself.
Yet. We'll see what else they're cooking up.
And
maybe they'll give us more hints during their first clip show in 3 weeks.
And there was the
Really?
I know. No, I'm being facetious.
Wouldn't surprise
You
me.
may be prophetic. But honestly, the greater threat I felt was a company that actually makes monsters. You could make a short-lived but interesting series if the main villain was not trying to conquer the universe, but just kept trying to show off a monster that could reach the standards. Let's see if our new model can beat Ultraman.
Now I'm thinking of Miss Karaitsu.
There you go. So the monster development is just to beat Ultraman to prove that they're a good genocidal agent. And
I would love to work for that company.
Only if they have the HR of the Karaitsu show. So I'm just saying you might want to forget the conquering the world and still go for making a sale enemies. They're oddly relatable.
But yeah, I don't.
And identifiable.
To me, they're the bigger threat than Sphere.
Yeah.
They just want to destroy the planet because they're expanding to space. Sphere is just in case the planet to inconvenience Earthlings.
Well, Sphere is unknown. We don't know why they're doing what they're doing.
But I feel like we're beating a dead horse
But
at
at least we're talking about the show.
They're also very brightly colored.
But we're actually talking about the show and not other stuff. Speaking of other stuff, Gavin got announced for license for Blu-ray in October. Yay! Yay! Another Model Hero show.
On that note,
No.
yay! Okay, yay! Project Echo 3 was announced, so we're gonna get more Project Echo.
Good lord, how old is that anime?
Like late 80s, early 90s.
But it was only 4 movies, so it wasn't that long.
4 movies. I only recall 2.
That's because
OVA.
well, there were 4 movies and 2 OVAs, but the first 2 movies were the ones that most video stores carried.
Mm-hmm.
And this was from a golden age, or really not too golden, when Blockbuster was the only way to get anime.
And Video Factory.
And well, I don't think we have video factories out here.
No, I don't think so.
So Blockbuster for me. And they only had like the OVAs, the movies, the bloodiest and goriest. It was a long time before the more...
And they also had it on this miraculous device called VHS.
which you had to rewind. It was a test of your kindness.
It was a test of your patience as well.
Well,
Because rewinding felt like it took 3 times longer than it did to actually
and
watch
then
it.
there was the fact that you'd get a fine if you didn't rewind it.
That's
Oh.
fine.
But those miraculous devices of VHS tapes that were so frustrating, because the more you watch the VHS tape, the worse the quality came.
I wore out my Batman tape.
Yeah, I did that with a few. So, but yeah, Eiko, man. I actually really hated Seiko.
That was... Oh, Seiko. I can understand that. Seiko was pretty annoying.
She's a mass murderer.
I see nothing wrong with that, but anyway.
Anyway, but then again, I just really want to emphasize having a company producing monsters to try and one up Ultraman and say, hey, we're the go-to for conquesting needs. I think that could actually be pretty interesting as a villain.
Mm-hmm. What?
We should do that. We should start trying to figure out how to make monsters and sell them to other markets, to other planets. Kaiju no Kami. It's perfect! I have the perfect branding to branch out across the universe with monster-conquering planets.
On that note, thank you for joining us for this latest episode of Ultraman Decker. Noodle on the fact that he wants to conquer the world. And
Who wants to stop at the Earth when I can go everywhere?
He wants to go galactic.
Yes.
And then we have our moral compass here, who's not very moral today.
Well, yeah.
Silver Quill.
Yeah, roller coaster. High, low, high, low, high.
And
low.
if you like...
Oh, she's striking me. Oh, help me. There's violence on the internet. Oh, my.
Alright, and if you like what you watch, click like, subscribe, the bell notification, whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support us. Also, what did you guys think of this episode of Ultraman Decker? You can support us at Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook,
Discord.
If we remember.
Kaiju no Kami, and the website creativitybydesignllc.com, and cool Kaiju no Kami merchandise at creativitybydesignllc.com/shop, and there's a link in the description below. And then we have the Birdman.
MLP Silver Quill on Twitter, DeviantArt, and the YouTubes. Also do a search for Silver Quill and After the Fact and ye shall find me. Or you'll find a news program that I was here first.
No relation to Harvey.
No relation to Harvey
Yeah,
Birdman.
he came first.
Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
Technically, Harvey Birdman came first. By like
That's how you got Birdman Jr.
by like a decade.
It was more than a decade. Harvey Birdman's been around since the 70s.
I'm talking about the attorney at law.
And you're phrasing. You're phrasing. And once again, a tribute to the wall.
And Stan Lee.
And ever solid, ever vertical.
And Sailor Moon and Asuka Floating, Cowboy Bebop.
Oh my god!
And
The wall.
there was a Dragon Ball poster, but that's in my classroom now.
There will come a day when you will see us in front of another wall. May not be this wall. It may not even be a complete wall. Might actually have a window.
And he
There'll
might
be a window to your soul.
There'll be a wind wall.
A wim wall.
or it could be a half wall.
Either way, we thank you all. May you stand for at least 3 or 5 more years.
Wow! Dark.
Well, you know, they might want to remodel. I don't know.
They are remodeling in here, but I think that wall will stay.
All right. See? Season's coming down.
Bye, everyone.
Yep, until next time. Bye.